Then we are live.
Hello.
And also this
Hello,
time finally
everybody.
with all the episodes we had already on YouTube.
Woo!
Because someone finally uploaded them and published them in one day today and yeah.
Finally.
Wasn't that nice of them?
yeah. At least I have more time next week. I only need to work 2 days till next week.
Oh, nice.
Yep, tomorrow from 8 to 12 and on Friday from 6 to 6.
Very nice.
And Sunday is... Oh yeah, and next week when we play, it's also my birthday.
Hey, happy birthday in advance.
Don't do that.
Okay.
That brings bad luck.
Wait, does it?
At least in Germany, we say that it brings bad luck to wish you someone a happy birthday before their actual birthday.
Oh.
Yep.
Shit. Crap.
It's fine, it's fine. I know that your culture doesn't know about bad luck.
Of course
We are
know
the
about
bad luck. What are you talking about? our entire country is so full of bad luck we don't even realize it anymore.
Yeah, see, that's why you wish always birthday before the actual birthday. Yeah, you can see what you get from that.
Yeah.
That's the
Wow.
reason. Don't tell me
That explains
everything.
That explains so much. Wow. Yeah. Holy crap! People, stop wishing people happy birthday but ahead of time.
Yeah.
Save this nation.
Save the nation.
Because...
Don't wish people happy birthday ahead of time.
Oh dear God.
I am in one of my moods.
Not only you.
So
I
it's going to
would
be
say
goofy.
one of you to make a recap of last week.
oh hey, my coffee's almost done.
You stay here.
Shit.
Well, I guess I'll go ahead and do it.
Yay.
Yay.
Although I don't think I'll be able to do the epic voice this time.
That's okay.
It's fine.
Alright then, so...
I believe what happened last time in Vampire the Masquerade. Amber finally got her apartment.
Hey.
Yay.
It turned out to be a storefront apartment with 2 rooms on top and 2 rooms on top and a store at the bottom, as well as a basement.
Where there.
Upon inspecting the house, they discovered. Upon inspecting the house and cleaning up a bit, Aspen ended up realizing that Amber has an owl form, and she ended up using that owl form to be able to dust most of the apartment.
At least
Much
the basement
fun.
and the shopping area.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
most of it.
Afterwards, they pretty much cleaned up the rest of the apartment after most of the heavy work was done, and decided to relax for a bit after all that cleaning at a nearby Elysium.
Yep. And I think we stopped in the Elysium when you were talking with Carlos Espina.
Yes.
Yeah, the charismatic Ventrue who is somewhat entangled in your plans and you don't know if he knows.
Yeah, he seems to indicate he knows, at least to some extent. But
Who really knows?
yeah, who knows? He is Ventrue.
Yeah. But before we do there, I was busy the last 2 hours. More or less. I did also other things. Be proud of me.
Oh.
We are proud.
Wow! Ooh, look at that.
And roll 20 can.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, what did I do?
Okay.
I left the basement empty because, oops. Sorry.
Yeah, basically.
Understandable.
Yep.
Maybe add where like the water heater is or something. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I can always say water heater is, I don't know. Okay, yeah, I need to do that. Water heater is there or something.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
Yeah,
have the
all
strength
that
tablet.
extra
It's so much easier to do things with that. When I know what to say, for example, okay, there are people in the shopping area. One is here, and one is here. That's so much easier.
It is so much easier.
Yeah, I
Oh
mean,
my
Yeah.
god!
what?
I said, "Oh my god!" I'm so
Yeep.
happy.
Yeep.
And if anything, I now realize that there is no second floor.
There
Unless
is.
you
Ground
didn't get
level,
to
first floor.
designing that one.
He-
He has stairs.
Well,
Here-
no, there was
Here's
a.
stairs. Yeah.
No, I
There
mean
was a
like we
second
thought there was
floor.
a second apartment. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
above
we
here.
don't have
Here are
access to it.
stairs. Here's the stairs house, the stair floor thingy. And above that is the second floor. The problem is, since you don't have a key to the second floor and you don't own the second floor, I did not draw that in because, yeah.
Right.
Why should I?
Okay then.
Yep.
Well,
'Cause-
okay, fair. I thought like there would be like second floor and it would just be completely grayed out or something like that since we
No.
don't have access to it yet.
I can
D&D
always
style, if you will.
make this pick a picture. I just put it quickly together in Photoshop.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
it works.
Yep.
Oh, let me go ahead and get off Twitch really quick so I can monitor stuff.
That actually looks a lot like the way they laid out my floor plan for my apartment in terms of like the way they did it. The, like stairs, where the doors are, all that.
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay. Is my coffee done?
You said it's done.
It's done.
Yeah. I think I just put a downtown background for thingy.
Yeah, because we are
For
still
now.
at the.
Yeah.
Was it
Elysium.
Yeah, a taste
of
of
LA.
LA.
Taste of Yeah.
Taste of LA. It is in my notes. Yes, Taste of LA.
Yep. Oh, that reminds me. I should
In
maybe
Skid
also.
Row.
Yep. Oh dear. Not good. Don't get a hiccup.
What?
I had a hiccup.
Oh.
Yep. I hope it's not. It's only a one time. It doesn't feel like the one time thingies.
There are
I
two ways
know
to
that
get rid of
feeling.
it.
I know.
There are two ways to get rid of it. One, hold your breath. Two, drink liquids.
Yep. I have liquids.
I do a mix of both,
Damn.
and it always works.
Yep. Oh, and I need to make now looks at something. Yes, I have the feeling it's cooler. Yeah. We left less. We lost 2 degrees Celsius here.
Nice.
Yep, we are now at in Fahrenheit 76
Oh,
That's very nice.
with
Comfy.
44%
That's comfy
humidity.
I mean, it's only
That's
like
a little
maybe-
less comfy, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's like only 86 here.
And in my room, it's oh dear God, it's 26 in
How
my
much
room.
is that?
It's 26 in here.
I mean, it's only like around 86 here. How much is that in Celsius? I think that's like close to
26, 27 around there.
I would say closer to 28.
How much was it again?
Like 86.
2 Celsius. 26.
Well, dang.
No, not 26. 26 couldn't be it. How much in Fahrenheit?
86.
86. Okay, that's awful.
it is.
I have
Currently-
I have 78 in my
Oh, I
room.
was closer.
No, I have 79 in my room, by the way.
Yeah, I was close. I did guesstimate like 28, 29.
Mm,
It is currently 17 degrees Celsius where I'm at.
I don't like the summer.
It is 30 where I'm at.
Mm. Also, the most annoying thing about the German summer is it's extreme. It's always the extremes because we get the warm weather from the Gulf of Mexico, but we are on a latitude that's more similar to Canada, and Germany is directly in the in-between zone of the continental weather and the Gulf storm, making it warm. So it can be on one day rain, sunshine, extreme heat, and even a hailstorm.
Ooh.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yep, you were here in Germany. You know the German summers.
Yeah, I know what it's like to be sunny, then all of a sudden just raining cats and dogs, and then nothing. Sunny again.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same with England, and people wonder why Germans and British people always complain about the weather, or always talk about the weather.
See, at least where I'm at, we will get 1 or 2 weeks of really wild weather. Like Friday, I think it was Friday. It was over 100 degrees.
Aw.
So like almost 40 degrees Celsius. Today it's 17.
Yep. Sounds familiar to me.
Yeah.
But we have that normally only in April, but this time we had it from shortly before April until now.
Yeah,
Yep.
that sounds about right.
I hate it. But yeah. And also it's
We're out of
possible.
our. I was just gonna say we're out of our wet season, so now it's just gonna be a dry heat from now until November.
It's just gonna be hot where I'm at, just in general.
We have a dry hot season too. That's August and half of July.
It's everywhere from June till November over here because I live in the desert. This is a high plains desert.
Oh, and it's
Drive,
also
like,
possible
an hour that way.
Yep. It's also possible that you will later hear frogs. Because apparently there's a pond outside of the house, and apparently there are frogs.
I like frogs.
They are loud, and they make those weird sounds.
I mean, all I said is I like frogs.
I used to catch tadpoles when I lived over there.
Yeah, the typical German do things to do in the summer.
Yeah.
Yep. I see you had a whole kid in Germany experience when you were
Oh, I was I was what? When I left, I was 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I had the German kid experience.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Carlos Espina.
Yes.
Carlos Espina, Ventrue.
And we were mid-conversation with him.
I'm trying to remember where exactly we ended because stupid me didn't write it down. Should have written it down. Oh?
Person of interest.
Oh?
Whoa.
Eh?
Wabu?
Awawu?
You're
Sorry,
mumbling
we're
to something?
streaming.
What?
I had to remember that we were streaming. Chill.
What are you telling us to chill for, huh?
Because if you guys don't chill, I won't chill.
It's fine.
I don't think I can.
But
yeah.
Carlos Espina, if I remember correctly, Aspen ended up finding out that the gentleman at the table with, I believe it was Mike?
Michael, yeah?
Yep.
Yes. He was sitting at the table with Michael, sharing stories about the life of crime, if I remember correctly.
Basically,
Before,
yes.
Yeah.
Before Amber came back with her conversation with Avalona.
Absolutely not fast talking Avalona, yes.
Absolutely not. Who, if
Absolutely
we'd
not
gotten,
Avalona, absolutely.
if we'd
I
gotten,
don't know what
Amber-
you're talking about. Avalona doesn't talk fast. It's completely normal. Well, it's not your problem when you're not really talking at the same speed
relax,
and
relax,
are smaller.
Relax.
bro, calm. deep breath.
Get the tranquilizer.
And just think, if we come to the Taste of LA a couple hours earlier, we could have had Amber on speed talking to Avalona.
That would be so fun.
That would have. Oh my.
Should not have said that.
Nightmare.
Effect worse off. Should not have said that.
So, should not have worn off so fast.
Yes. The problem is drugs don't work so good on vampires. They only work very shortly.
Just leave those two over there, and it sounds like a pair of chipmunks just chattering at each other.
If I remember correctly, afterwards, that's when Amber ended up coming over and finding out about Carlos Espina.
Yes. We've been
And
having our veiled conversation this meanwhile.
Yes. I believe it was around there that we ended, and we were trying to see if we could harbor any information from this individual.
Hmm.
We ended up finding out that he is a neonate, or
Yes.
so he claims. And I believe that's all the information that I remember gathering from him.
Yeah, we didn't get a whole lot from him other than that he was being used by Michael as sort of a reference for gangs and criminal underground, and Espina making a comment about it being kind of in his wheelhouse. And
Oh, I remember something. He was asking us about our line of work, so to speak.
yeah,
Yeah, he was giving us about our apparent line of work, and was trying to see if he could recruit us for some type of
maybe.
yeah.
We haven't quite gotten to that point yet.
Also, I
Right
just
now,
showed
it's-
something in the stream.
I see.
But yeah, that's basically where you stand. What are you saying to him?
Um,
No,
I have to think for. Yeah, go ahead.
you wanted to know about our hobby, if I remember you calling it that. Yes.
Yes, that's how I called it.
Was there perhaps something you were trying to look into?
Oh, my bad. You're talking to Michael now. What, don't you?
Oh, we're talking to Michael now.
No, I'm asking. I'm asking
We're
because
still talking to Espina.
yep,
Yeah.
of course it
I
sounded
think-
loud like Michael. We
I
were
think
talking to Michael.
No, I think Michael just excused himself.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's why I was confused.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, we're because in the last session,
Michael got what he needed for the story and decided to
yes,
work on it.
Oh,
and Aspen referred to our line of work as a hobby.
yep. So then, what was the question of you again? For some reason, my memory is stupid right now.
No, it's fine. I
I
believe
was
it
asking.
was.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Did that entail that you wanted us to look into something for you?
Oh no. I assume maybe we had a little misunderstanding there. You could say I'm just curious. Yeah, curious you could call it. He smiles.
I could see that. Couple young vampires show up and start making a ruckus.
Well, what does young mean anyway?
I just kind of wave a hand. Suppose not as. Oh, what's a good word?
Experienced?
That's it. Experienced, maybe a little less vigilant than they should be. It's hard to say. I mean, here I was thinking the pair of us were doing a decent job and keeping a low profile, and turns out we're the talk of the town.
Well, you probably know. Well, it depends. May I ask, what did you do before your, let's say, life changed to the better?
Well, I was. Oh, go ahead.
No. You first.
Well, I was out in college for a little while. Had plans to open up a shop. Possibly end up going back to school as a official engineer. Work for what's that place in America? NASA? Yes, I planned on working for NASA before this happened.
A Gangrel at working for NASA. That's something I would have loved to see. And you, Miss Reed?
Let's just say I spent a lifetime trying to impress the wrong man. And
Um,
then,
so
and when I came across when my sire came across me, well, I realized that.
I see, I see. Well then, our our friend Miss Anderson here probably knows better about how fast rumors can spread in a, let's say, group of people who share something important, but most of the time are individuals.
Uh, Most certainly. One little misstep, one little side glance, and all of a sudden you're
Everything
responsible.
goes downhill.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, indeed. I mean, at least we have the benefit here in LA that there are no harpies, or at least no harpies yet. That would complicate things. Let me put it this way.
Is there anything like I heard? Just a little.
Mm, but yeah, to go back to the main topic, so to say, people talk about you. That's true. But on the other hand, I assume people also talk about me or our little bubble of speed over there. He nods in the direction of Avalona.
You could definitely say that. I was, for instance, unaware that the two of you involved in any way.
Oh no, I had not had business with her yet. Maybe in the future, but for now, she for certain has some skills that can be helpful in certain aspects, but not not aspects I did encounter yet.
Fair enough. And to your first point, we've we've heard of you in passing once or twice.
Oh, really? Now I am curious. What exactly did you hear?
Oh, nothing much, just a name here and there. You know our line of work, we tend to come across less than reputable individuals.
Yeah,
I
I see,
I,
I see. He
I
smiles.
just I just kind of shrug.
Hmm.
It's it wasn't anything major. I just you just rang a bell when I heard your name earlier. That's all.
I see. Let me ask, does that had anything to do with a certain gang shooting in Bel Air? I think last night or the night before of that?
I I raised an eyebrow. I'm sorry. In a place like LA, you're gonna have to be a little bit more specific.
Did I said
This is
I meant, also out of the character right now, I meant to say Bel Air, not LA.
yeah, yeah. I know, and
Ah, okay, okay, okay,
you
okay,
did say
okay.
Bel Air, but
Okay, good. Then
A-
we just had a misunderstanding. No problem.
Aspen's just being facetious. Like,
Okay.
this place is full of crime. You're gonna have to
Yeah,
narrow it
yeah,
down a
yeah.
little.
Well, maybe my informations were wrong. No problem. Let's just say that. How do I put it the best way? You could say I'm interested of this part of town and have an eye on the street, so to say.
Fair enough. Uh, yeah, it does seem like there's been a lot more gang activity of late. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
He smiles. Oh, absolutely nothing. My business is more in the trading part of this, well, in trade, so to say.
Of course. And
So
It's
Materials being
understandable.
changed here and there. Understandable.
But that also reminds me, he looks at the two of you. Have you ever eaten at one of, well, eaten is probably the wrong word, I'm sorry, but eaten from or feed on something a Toreador prepared?
Hmm. I couldn't. I, I don't believe so. No.
Oh, you really should. There is in the Fifth Street of here in downtown, well, back over there in downtown, a little calling it a restaurant would be to give the wrong impression. But there's a local Toreador who, let's say, he was a cook in his past with some prestige and. Well, you know how it is with old things you're used to do, and now he explores the tastes of blood. He hands you over a card. Maybe you want to visit him and greet him from me. Be so kind.
I look the card over.
It's there's a gray imprint on the background with just a stylized rose, and in front of there stands. Oh, what was the name again?
Heard Stan?
Don't make this a JoJo reference.
No,
Ken.
no, don't worry.
I said Stan, not Stand.
Yep.
Oh, I'm making this a JoJo reference. Crap.
Steve Argos. I am writing it down.
What was it?
I'm writing it down.
Okay.
Oh,
Steve
Steve.
Argers. Oh, okay. Sounds interesting. Now
Yep.
that you mention it, I am a little famished. Maybe I'll swing by later.
Of course, and also, well, we are both from the same clan, so of course I know some would call it a problem we have, even if it's just an acquired taste, but normally he's very discreet in those kind of things, so don't worry about this.
Well then, I suppose I really did have no reason not to say hello. Is there anything, I kind of eye him, is there anything in particular you want me to say to him?
Oh, no, just a little greeting. I mean, I had business with him in the past, and, well, it probably will help you to have a foot in the door to when he knows that I am sending you, so to say.
Well, pleasure before business. I like it.
He also leans over a little bit, like he wants to share a secret.
And I lean a little bit closer as well.
And between the two of us, he also is very thankful for people spreading the word, so to say. And he winks.
I kind of just smile. I have no idea what you mean.
Out of character, that was pretty obvious what he meant.
Out of character, I'm drawing a complete blank.
Huh?
I thought it was like he likes spreading the word of his
Yeah.
restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was what I meant.
Oh, okay. I thought that was being an actual like. Look, I'm
Aspen had a dirt moment.
yeah. Aspen had a derp moment because I'm used to it being all veiled, not actual. Oh, okay. Rewind a sec.
That's something I love about this game. It's all you can throw your players off with just being straight for once.
Yeah, no. Especially from a Ventrue, I wasn't expecting that. God dang this guy.
I mean, he does throw loops here and there.
Oh, he does. He do.
Well, everything he says is true, especially the lies.
Yeah. That's Ventrue in a nutshell.
Yep.
All right, I'll keep that in mind. I'd say with a polite little smile.
He leans back and nods with a smile.
Well, I'm feeling particularly hungry. Amber, is there anyone else you want to talk to today?
What else that I can think of at the moment?
What? You sound like you are further away from the microphone.
Oh, give me a second.
That's better.
There you go.
No one else that I can think of at the moment.
Well, then, I think we'll have to excuse ourselves.
It was a pleasure to meet you too.
You as well, Mr. Espina.
Likewise.
Call me Carlos.
Carlos. I stand up and give a polite little bow,
He nods.
and I head towards the door, I guess.
Mm.
Let us meeting again beyond.
On. Crap! I had a saying I was gonna say.
You had a saying. It was a
Yes.
good saying. You had it.
Yes.
I had a thing.
Let our paths cross again in the near future.
Made him.
That sounds like something a Grandclo could say if they could turn into a black cat.
And I assume you stand up and follow Amber.
Yeah.
Yep. Then shortly thereafter, you are back in front on the street in front of the old warehouse.
Well, that was interesting.
Very.
I was expecting a little bit more of a mob boss feel, but oh well.
Well, he's one of us, so it's not like we can just.
Well, I can't say I'm terribly surprised, but yeah. For the time being, why don't we go visit this Steve person? I could use a bite to eat.
I could top off.
I look at her. You kind of knocked down 3 people earlier. One of
That's
them
nice.
I'm pretty sure was loaded on something.
Well, whatever that experience was, it was definitely an interesting one, to say the least.
I raise an eyebrow at Amber.
Listen,
Well-
even I don't know what he had in the system.
I don't know, but it definitely reminded me of someone not used to caffeine downing 3 shots of espresso.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure even when we go to the Steve guy, he's not gonna have whatever that was in it.
I highly doubt it. Let's go see for ourselves.
Let's.
That
So it
sounded
was
like
on-
Big Munch. The lads it roboted a little bit and it sounded much higher and yeah, sounded funny. Sorry. Yeah, but yeah, where do you want to go now?
To
Mr.
this
Arger's.
restaurant place. Yes.
Yep, then I should have prepared something. Well, how should I prepare something for something I make up in the moment? In downtown.
Oh, sweet. So we're ad-libbing. This is gonna be great.
Oh, joy.
You know me, you know my style of GMing. I make a big web, but there can always be another new strain coming all of the sudden.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I'm liking it because if this place works out, then I might not have to worry about beating up thugs every time I need a drink.
Well, there are more types of criminals than fucks.
True.
Yep.
They're the easiest to find. Arguably.
I mean, at least you're not drinking from poor people.
That was what Ken's last Ventrue had. He can only drink from poor people.
At the same time, I didn't realize I could end up becoming a plague bearer.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the other reason.
Oh, and I forgot to ask, do you want to talk while you are driving?
Yes.
Okay. I guess Amber has something to say.
Yep.
Yes.
Sounds like it.
So, with with Carlos being one of us and the humans wanting us to help out with their situation, things just got a bit more difficult.
It
At least if
did
we want to keep them on our good side.
just a bit. Main problem now is how do we go forward from here?
Well, I can think of at least a few ways.
Well, on the one hand, we either betray Max, which leaves a bad taste in my mouth. On the other, we go up against a who seems to be a rather reputable Ventrue, a member of my own clan.
It's not like we fought our own clan before either.
No, though that Mr. Gimbal was a very close.
Listen, I'm still worried. I'm still wary of prosthetics at this point.
I have a problem with mannequins still. Well,
Mannequins?
because mannequins tend to be very doll-like.
Ah, gotcha. I was confused. I did nothing with mannequins. What is he talking about?
So far, the most peaceful way I can think of is integration.
The thought crossed my mind, but we'd have to convince their entire group that it was in their best interest.
I'm sure that wouldn't be a problem for a Ventrue like you. You do have your mind control powers, after all.
I do, but we'll see. The main problem is gonna be if it doesn't work. Where do we go from there? And I doubt Carlos will listen to maybe not expanding into a certain area of town. That's not how businessmen work. But at the very least, he seems aware of who we are and suspects that we might have had something to do with that little scuffle earlier, a couple nights ago.
Agreed. And good for me, considering that I just moved out there. He's bound to put two and two together eventually.
Well, if he hasn't already. We'll just have to be careful, as always.
And I'm not too fond on betraying anybody either.
No. Well,
for now, I guess it would probably be best to try and gather information on both sides. See who's, like, for lack of better words, in the right and in the wrong.
True. If we could negotiate, it would save a lot of lives. Well, we can worry about that later. Right now, we have plenty on our plate. Just have to keep Carlos in mind, the whole situation, and play it by ear. If we ever hear from Max and the others, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I kind of look uncertain.
Amber just nods. And I believe that will probably be the end of our conversation.
Yes.
Sure, no problem. But you still need to try 5 more minutes. No, I'm joking.
Okay, well,
we are doing the TV trope of drives and stuff. Need to exactly that time you need to go from A to B.
Just 5 minutes of dead silence on the stream.
Yeah. Or in the middle of the sentence, all of a sudden, and you arrive.
Hard drive.
Yeah.
Yes, on.
You arrive at downtown, and especially, oh yeah, backdrop would be a nice idea. And exactly in this time, also the clouds open them up, and it starts to rain. Oh, that was good
Oh
timing.
boy. Oh boy. Well, I guess we're not going anywhere for a while.
Well, I mean, you're right.
Wait, did we get in the building already or no?
Nope, you're still in the car.
Are we parked right outside of it? Or...
A little bit, not directly away, but not that far away either. There were no parking spots directly in front of the building. At least no free. The building, by the way, is not well. For starters, not a restaurant. It's more of an apartment building.
Okay.
uh,
I kind of point under Amber's seat. Could you get the umbrella out from under there?
I was just about to ask if you had one. I go ahead and grab the umbrella.
And I guess we exit the car and start heading towards the apartment.
Yep. Am I evil? No, I'm not this evil now. For this time.
Oh no! Oh no!
Well,
When
just
did you?
I was
when
just
did that happen?
I was planning to make a roll for random encounters, so to say.
Oh.
Yeah, my D6 thingy. But now,
So yeah, we're running.
you arrive at the apartments. There's a little stairs that go a little bit inside the building, but well, it's 1 meter inside the building, and then there's the entrance door. So you can
Oh.
stand there without standing in the rain while waiting for someone to open the door.
Okay then.
Works.
Well then, I guess while we're there, we knock on the door.
Well,
It's an apartment complex.
Ah.
Look
mean-
for Steve Argers.
Yes,
And
there
Quasm.
is yeah, doorbell.
And I ring it.
It takes a while, then you hear a voice. Yes, who's there?
Is this Steve Argers?
Who wants to know that?
My name's Aspen. I was sent here by Carlos Espina.
Zzz.
We answer.
Open the door and head in. Like, what the hell kind of noise did he just make through the speaker? What the hell?
No, that was the door that must be able to.
Yeah, I know. Like for a split second, I thought, why the hell did he just buzz at us? But then I realized, oh, that's the door.
That's what doors do sometimes. They buzz.
just on the other side, just. You okay, dude?
Chill.
Oh, now I have an idea.
Relax.
Now I have an idea for a character. God damn it!
Oh God.
I mean, I had
Character that
an
does
idea.
onomatopoeias.
I mean, I had an idea for another character the other day anyway, and I hope you will run into him. I reworked existing for that. Yep.
All right, yeah. We'll head inside and try to find his apartment, I guess.
Yeah, it's on the when you don't count the ground floor in the second floor.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right, we'll go up
Yep.
to like the second floor.
Yep. The door is not closed. Well, it's closed, but only leaning on, not completely closed.
Okay.
Closed,
It's a crack.
Yeah.
so to say. Yes.
Ajar. Yeah.
Yep.
And as we approach, I politely knock on it before pushing it open a little.
You stand in a corridor.
I am curiously looking around.
It's a rather small corridor. There's a door to the left, a door to the right, a door in front, and a place where shoes and umbrellas and stuff can be placed.
Oh, so it's like an entryway. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Steve?
Go to the one in the middle. I'm coming.
I give a look at Amber, then shrug and head towards the middle door.
I quickly follow behind.
Yep. It only takes, well, when you enter, you see, well, it's a rather empty room. There are some paintings on the wall and big, heavy curtains in front of the window because obviously vampires. And there are 2 or 3. No, that's not the stupid way. There are 3 tables standing in the room with some chairs in front of that, like for an improvised restaurant inside the normal apartment.
My. Mr. Espina definitely wasn't kidding.
Well, you seem very dedicated to your craft.
He's not in the room with you.
Ah,
Okay, then
Just us.
let me go ahead and rephrase that then.
He seems very dedicated to his craft.
Indeed. I head further into the room.
Yep.
I go in and sit at a table.
Yep.
Well, you might as well make yourself at home.
Oh, is it the left
Fair.
table, the right table, or the table in the middle?
I sit at the left table.
Okay.
I'll sit at the right table. No, I'll join Amber. That'd be a power move.
If you say so.
Oh, weird flex, but okay.
Yep. After only a few more seconds, the door opens again. And a guy comes in a typical, let's say, chef's clothes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They are
Yep.
completely white and completely clean, like, all good chef clothes are, because they are so good they never drop something.
Yep, of course.
Yep. Yeah, he has shadow of a beard still in the face. His hair is a bit on the longer side. He could use an haircut a little bit darker. And he looks at you with a more annoyed look on his face. Welcome in my restaurant. I am Steve Argus, and you two. He looks at you. What are you wearing again?
I'm pretty sure I was just wearing like a simple dress.
Hmm?
And I'm wearing a different color hoodie with some jogging pants.
Much to my chagrin.
Yep. Yeah, he sighs a little bit, only very, very slightly when he looks at you, Amber. And I'm the one who cooks for you tonight.
It's a pleasure to meet
Carlos,
you.
Mr. Espina sent you, you said.
That is correct. I hold up the business card.
He nods. At least he does what that he promised to do. Okay, what did he tell you?
Well, that you are rather skilled with, let's say, cooking?
Rather skilled.
Or-
I'm the best bloody cook you found between in here and fucking Japan. At least for our kind.
Well, if it's all the same to you, I'll be the judge of that.
Well, it's more
I give him
something
a
of
little
lack of competitiveness, if you ask me. But yeah, let's ignore that. Some people still have no idea what
Let's just say that my friend here has a very refined and acquired taste.
He looks
I
at
roll my
Aspen.
eyes.
Ventrue.
Ventrue.
What kind?
Let's put it perfectly bluntly, criminal.
More the hookers kind or more the druggies kind?
More the give me your money or you're dead kind.
I see. Well, I guess I could do something for you. And you, he looks at Ember and especially at the headband, so to say.
Headband, quote unquote.
Any special orders from you, or are you fine with her, what she gets?
I'm fine with what she gets.
Great, because I am out of a cow.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I was being laughing in character, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, he seems to ignore it. Okay, then sit there. He looks at you. I assume it's fine when I test some things on you.
Sure.
He nods and leaves the room.
Not, and I kind of say under my breath, not that I enjoy being a guinea pig, but if he's as good as they say, I suppose I can relax a little bit.
Is it me, or does he seem a bit rough around the edges?
Well, if I remember correctly, that's just how overworked chefs are.
I would have thought he would have had a bigger place than this.
Thought did cross my mind, but
I feel like it would have been a slightly more justified in that sense. Simply due to the fact that, he would be renowned enough to be able to warrant such a place and, hire some help or something.
well, he could just be starting out. As you yourself know, it's not exactly easy to get a shop around here. Especially when your main selling point is,
You know what?
human.
Fair point. Fair point. If anything, I definitely...
Sorry, continue.
If anything, I definitely hope he does get this restaurant off the ground. It would definitely be a wonderful place for most of our kinds to visit.
I wholeheartedly agree. It would definitely make filling up, as it were, much easier.
Oh, yes. For sure.
I feel like I used wrong lingo.
Bao Shao.
Continue to talk, please, a little bit. I'm thinking about what the exact. I have some ideas for the main dish and the dessert, but I'm thinking
okay.
about the appetizer right now.
Okay.
That's partially why we were talking, because, typical restaurant things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah? And I mean, it takes time to cook something.
Yeah.
Especially when you cook those kind of things and can't really do prep work because you never know if you even get people in the place.
To be honest, I was half expecting a trap.
Maybe it is a trap.
Maybe, who knows?
Maybe. You're not the only one.
I mean,
I'm sure thought we would have probably been, staked or something on site.
well, he's all out of cow, so that's not a problem. I just wink at Amber.
What was with that cow comment anyway?
Beef? I just shrug. Do your kind eat meat?
That's a good question.
Wait, I mean, you don't know?
Well,
No, I'm very intrigued.
well, I kind of was a vegetarian for the last couple weeks of my life before converting, or before being embraced, so...
Aspen has to think for a second. Oh, you meant actual vegetarian. I thought that was some sort of slang for you only took blood from animals. Man, I've gotten way too jaded to this. I guess it's just such a weird concept for me. Did your sire tell you anything?
No. literally just the basics and just left.
I kind of slow blink and process that. That's so... Huh. I, I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have Mr. Carter to show me the ropes. I can only imagine how rough that must have been.
And you hear Steve coming back.
Ah,
Yep.
we'll have to put a pin in that. And I turn back towards Steve.
Yep. Yeah, he with his back opens the door, and you see that he has something in his hands that looks like it's what was the English word? It's hot, so hot that dust from water. I forgot the word.
Ah,
This is
yeah,
going up. Yep.
Steam.
Steam. Yeah. He places in front of you, looks at you. This is a rather simple dish. My take on tomato soup, you could call it. I use some dry ice for the visual effect, you could say. It doesn't really have an influence in the taste. And the blood itself is a little bit spiced with some tomato juice. I'm still not sure if it's even tasteable.
I
He-
kind of... no, go ahead.
Yeah, he also then goes a little bit to the side, so to give you privacy, but stands still there to see your reaction.
I lean a little bit more, a bit closer to my bowl, and I sniff it.
It's sniff. You get the tingling sense from breathing in, CO2. No, not CO2.
Yes.
Yeah, CO2. Yeah, right. But also you smell blood.
Well,
It was
I
just the one
assume-
bowl or a bowl for the both of us?
Soup table for the both of us. For both of you. With also, and you have obviously spoons. Every table was with the whole multiple spoons and multiple
And
forks and
forks.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I take a spoon and I try a little bit.
Okay, first Amber. You want
I was
to?
gonna say, Amber goes etiquette. Just
I
harping on.
I look at Amber and just stick out a pinky. With a
Amber's-
real deadpan look.
Despite Amber's looks, she specifically goes for the soup spoon.
Yep. Yeah.
And
Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah. Continue.
yeah, she specifically goes for the soup spoon and takes a sip.
Yep. Yeah. As you both try it, you taste the taste of blood.
Not surprised.
Not
Yep.
surprised.
You don't really taste anything of the tomato, but there's a very slight hint of ash in it.
Ash?
Ash.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, I get it.
Yep. For the viewers who not know what I am referring to, everything that's not blood tastes like ash for vampires.
I sit up a bit. Well, this is certainly the best bowl of blood I've ever had. And I
Must have a
continue.
unique
Yes.
flavor.
Yep.
Yeah,
Steve
yeah,
just
continue
nods
with
and
Bill.
then leaves you alone, probably preparing the main dish.
Oh, there's more. Oh. Ooh la la.
Ooh la la. Is that an ambulance near me or by?
That
I'm
was
pretty
around
sure-
20.
No. Yeah, it's roll 20. I had to think for a moment too, and then I realized I just turned around and the direction didn't change. It's roll 20.
It slightly got louder as I looked toward the window.
It is really clear. I think that got us last week too.
It
No,
did,
no,
but then
that
again,
was
that was a garage.
yeah, that was run from the outside where you felt it was inside
Well,
of it.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if Agar was actually if, an ambulance was going by you, Agar, but
No, no,
it
that
played that
wasn't.
exact
It
bit.
was. It like his mic picked it up so clear that it
But that
sounded like it
wasn't-
was part of Roll 20.
Yeah, but it wasn't an
I-
ambulance last week. It was, I don't even remember what it was. I think a
What is
car alert or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I go ahead and continue downing the bowl.
Well,
I eat from the bowl of
Yeah.
tomato soup,
Keep eating.
bloody
You know-
soup.
I kind of lean back. You know, this might be a little reckless of us.
How so?
We don't know the guy. I kind of glanced at the door Steve disappeared through. Well, that happens and I die tonight. I'm coming back to haunt you specifically.
Why me?
I just wink at her and continue eating. Because you're the only one I know I can bully. That's why.
You know what? That's fair. But I have faith in the guy. I mean, why else would someone who we have no idea about recommend us this place?
I raise an eyebrow at her. You really aren't familiar with how Ventrue work, are you? Well,
You aren't
Well-
familiar with how Gangrels work, are you?
now see, the difference here is he might have slipped something into our food. A Gangrel would just burst through that door as a bear and maul us to death.
I could, you know.
I laugh a little bit and realize she's serious.
yep.
Wait, Ken?
Yeah, I mean, the bear ears aren't just for show.
I am gonna need to start taking notes. So, let me get this straight.
You've told me what you told me what you can specifically eat, so I guess I can tell you what I can do.
Fair. I'm guessing. So, owl, bear?
Yes.
Anything else?
I ended up learning how to telepathically communicate.
Right. I remember you talking to those flea bags the other night.
Specifically flea bags.
Yep.
Specifically flea bags.
And you know how most of us have a beast inside of us, yes?
I don't remember it being put quite that way, but yeah, I could see it.
I think I'm close to doing something with that. Like, I'm closer to the beast than most others are. At least that aren't of my clan. So, I can somewhat influence said beast.
I'm not quite sure how that'll go.
Oh, that would go fine. Don't worry about it.
You say
Frankly,
so.
I'm not sure. Frankly, I'm not sure yet myself. I haven't really needed to bring out said beast just yet. And let's hope I don't have to.
Oh, yeah. Because, to be honest, if we're ever in a situation where you have to do that, oh, things have really hit the fan. By the
All
sounds
I
of
will
it.
say is, all I will say is, I might be able to control it up to a certain extent. Maybe.
Probably.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Well,
Can you repeat the question?
She hasn't had to yet, so she doesn't know.
Yep. No, it was a Malcolm in the Middle reference.
Oh, okay.
Yep. But
Well-
yeah, speaking of references, Steve comes back.
Hey.
Yep. This time without the dry ice trick. He places a table in front of you. In front of both of you, everyone gets one, obviously. How do I best describe that? There are. It seems like he did somehow form blood to little balls, and then also thickened the blood a little bit to a little bit to make a kind of sauce, so to say. He looks at you and says, "It's more of this new thing with how's it called again? Help me out of character. How was this thing where you put drops of something in a fluid and they become a ball? There was a name for this kind of style of cooking. I forgot.
Coagulation?
Yeah, but nano cooking, something like that. Well, he uses this word. Uses this word. I forgot.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's probably something really like hoity-toity that I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, it's basically you put a specific mineral in the water, mix it in, drop something in, and the mineral forms a little shell around the drop. And it's still fluid in the middle, but it has a little shell around it.
Okay, it's not caramelized. It's something
No.
else.
Yep.
Okay.
I forgot how it's called. But yeah, and he also continues for the sauce, I just took some blood and dehydrated it a little bit.
Well, it looks amazing. I can tell you that much.
He
It
nods.
actually looked like something I would see in a restaurant.
He nods, and you can see a slight shimmer of professional proud in his eyes, but he says nothing else and goes to his watch spot, so to say.
Well, I will pick up the spoon once more, making eye contact with Amber, and once more sticking my pinky out before trying a little bit.
Amber goes ahead and grabs the sauce spoon and tries the sauce.
Well, at first, the little bubbles, as soon as you have them in your mouth, they pop, and it's just blood.
It's just blood.
Yep, no
Just
real
I feel
taste.
bad for. I feel bad for this guy, but also this guy is amazing.
Like the level of detail is just like just blood.
Yep. I mean, everything. It would have made no difference if he would put some beef in it or some fancy spices or anything. It would all taste like ash to you. So he needs to work on presentation mostly.
I mean, I could see why the guy is so dour. He can only work with one ingredient.
Yes.
That's it.
Yep. We have one ingredient and the taste of ash. That's it.
Unless you're a Gangrel, then maybe something different. But
Animal blood just tastes like blood.
other
Well,
words, I
there's
have
a little
more
bit of a
resources.
difference, but it's basically blood. And
In
about
other
this,
words,
sorry.
In other words, as a Gangrel, I basically have more options to drink from than the standard vampire.
Everybody can
actually-
drink from blood. It's just that Gangrel are more known for doing that because they are often traveling from city to city, and you don't find humans everywhere.
yeah, granted.
So, and because of that, there are some Gangrel who prefer animal blood over normal blood, but it's also less potent. For example, from sheer volume, a cow has around 12 blood points, but you only get 6 out of them, while a human has 10 blood points inside of them.
Okay.
Yep. So you need to kill more animals to get full. But on the other hand, you don't get problems with humanity because you're just killing animals. That's what humans do anyway for eating.
Granted.
Born predator.
Yep. But for the blood taste, the sauce taste, it also tastes like blood, but it It's hard to describe. It is like, how do I describe it the best way? Let's say you have apple juice in front of you, and you do something to the apple juice, and it still tastes like apple juice, but something of the appleish apple part of the apple juice is missing. It's not that it tastes watery; it just tastes less.
So it just tastes off.
Yep,
Watered down.
not bad. There's just one part missing of it or weaker that was in there normally.
Oh,
I kind of lean back. Oh, this blood tastes a little different from what I'm used to.
yeah, this one you can tell there's a difference to it.
He looks at you. For the main part, I use the blood of an drug lord, you could say, so better quality. And for the sauce, it's the complete opposite. A street ganger who was, let's say, his that he's missing now isn't even a bad news for his mother.
My.
Eh.
Color me impressed that you're able to get that variety. I continue eating.
Same.
Yeah, and shortly thereafter, he leaves you alone again.
You know, I never thought I would be using actual cutlery in a bowl again.
You're not the only one.
It's more of, bite, suck, move on. This has a nice feel to it.
Nice change of pace. It almost makes me feel human again. Or at least more human.
Almost.
This is nice.
It is oddly nice. I was not expecting this. And I continue eating until I'm
Yep.
done.
Same.
Yep, he lets you sit there for a bit longer, it seems. You also hear the sound of a mixer from the kitchen.
I kind of look towards the kitchen. Oh, more.
To be more specific, you hear the sound of a mixer since he left you alone.
Okay.
Yep.
So, Miss Ventrue,
Yes, Miss Gangrel?
I've pretty much told you all the things that I know that I can do. What about you?
Well, if I really wanted to, I could scare you so bad you'd probably crap your pants right here and now.
Oh, believe me, and believe you and me, I can do the same.
No. It's a power of mine. Things get a little intense. I can instill so much fear in someone that they either go completely insane or shit their pants or run for their lives. Sometimes all three.
No, I mean, I also have that ability.
Oh.
Yes, I believe you do.
No, because it's a presence thing.
Ah. I think I have one with the protean. Because it's related to the beast, in a sense, or just primal fear, so...
With animalism, you mean? You could
Yeah.
at a later point.
I mean, to be honest, all you have to do is turn halfway into any kind of animal and people would shit their pants.
Oh, I remember my city gang. Well, with the fight animal a rat and the flight animal a cat.
I like that.
We were basically taking over a casino.
Ah.
We had a big fight there. I was in my fight form.
Ooh. So
Yes.
you were a big ass rat.
Yes.
That's a New York rat. Jesus Christ.
It's New York rat.
It's a New York rat that's kicking the ass. What the hell?
But yeah, shortly thereafter you hear the mix go quiet again, and then some cutlery, and you hear him come back.
I look over expectantly towards the door.
Yep. He comes back. This time he has a bowl, or those bowl things you have on a table, table for presentation.
Mm-hmm.
He has them too. Places the tables in front of you, and opens them. Well, he says, "For this I used the blood of let's say, rather fat guy, and beat it until it's in this consistency, and yeah, you can see it. And and basically what he did is some kind of mousse.
Oh,
Yep.
well then. I once more pick up the spoon. Anything more specific you can tell me about this fat guy?
Well, the criminal parts of him, if you are curious about that, was basically that he tried to rob a McDonald's.
Kind of snort.
McDonald's. Yeah,
That guy
Kelly
robbed
on
McDonald's. I shake my head. Well, I guess that counts. Bon
Mhm.
appetit.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
standing on his place.
Take a bite.
Nope. Or a spoonful, more to be
Yeah,
honest.
I take a spoonful.
Yep.
A
With my
spoonful.
I take a spoonful with my
Yep.
soup spoon.
I take a
First,
scoop with a fork.
the first thing you realize is cold. It's very cold. Apparently, he tested a little bit, and blood becomes softer the more you warm it up. So he cooled it down pretty much. It's basically like a Coca-Cola from the thing. Not directly freezing point, but only slightly above the freezing point. And it also tastes again like blood, but with a slight hint that reminds you of. You can't really put your finger around it, but it reminds you of fast food. Basically, that guy he ate so much fast food in his life that his blood became taste
Grease.
like that.
Yeah.
His
a
blood
little
tastes like
greasy.
grease.
A little
Yeah.
greasy, reminds me of the chicken
Greasy,
nuggets.
salty stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yep.
Salt and ice cream. Maybe not a bad mix.
But yeah, it's just blood that has a slight hint of fast food in it. Cold.
If it's cold, then Amber's gonna make this comment.
Yeah.
This actually is pretty good cold. Almost kind of makes me want a slushy if it kind of, or not a slushy,
He looks at you. Funny you mentioned that.
oh,
You see, I was thinking about possibilities. If you're still hungry after that, I could try something.
well, by all
Well.
means.
We are at your mercy.
He nods.
Say playfully.
Yep. He then also leaves you alone again. Also probably preparing whatever he has in mind now.
No. I just kind of remembered something. Something we heard earlier. Wonder what it would be like if we had blood from someone who was a real wino. I don't know. Maybe I'm just missing myself a nice Pinot Grigio.
To be honest, that might work.
I kind of smile wistfully, but continue eating.
I mean, if
Eating,
anything, it
drinking.
definitely. If anything, that would definitely be a good recommendation.
Assuming he hasn't figured it out already, but sure. I can run it by him.
You also hear him curse from the kitchen. From the cursing, you definitely hear a British accent out. Yep.
guess that means it's not going according to plan.
You also hear him hammer something.
Definitely, definitely not going according to plan. I don't remember last time you had to use a hammer for a slushie.
Well, maybe he only had ice cubes, and he first need to make a slushy ice.
That would be amusing.
Yep. But yeah, shortly thereafter, he comes back with 2 big glasses filled with something that looks like a slushy made out of blood and ice. Like I said, it's only an experiment, so yeah, I can't promise that it really is good in any way.
Don't worry about it. Everything's been great so far.
You
I
know?
agree.
I was wondering, have you done anything with, say, like the blood of an alcoholic?
He nods some of my first experiments, but most of the time it just tastes like alcohol because most of them those idiots drink everything mixed.
I roll my eyes.
If you could
Really can't
find
get a-
someone who basically that drink for decades only one type of alcohol, you probably would get blood that has a hint of that in it.
Well, I suppose a girl will keep dreaming.
If you want to, I could have my eyes out.
I would appreciate that. It's been so long since I've had a nice Pinot Grigio. Or really, I'll settle for anything that tastes like wine at this point.
He nods.
And
I have a
start on the slushie.
recommendation. I'm not sure if this may or may not work, but have you considered whipping the ice? Making it so that the blood is almost like ice cream?
Pretty sure that was the moose.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's my fault then.
Yeah, he nods
I
at
didn't hear
you.
that part for some reason.
He nods at you.
Eating
That's
moose.
basically how
tried
I
ice
made the muse.
Eating ice cream. Have you tried ice cream yet?
Listen,
Just
he's
amber things.
My apologies. I'm just. So far, everything's been so wonderful. I just couldn't help but try and help to further your
I appreciate it.
experimental palate.
I appreciate it, but that's what you basically had.
I give Amber a little look. For a moment there, I was afraid you were going to try and recruit him for your business.
Eliana puts a finger to her chin.
You mean
I
Amber?
mean Amber.
What'd I say?
Kellyanna.
Kellyanna.
Oh, did I? My
Yeah.
bad. Amber put a Amber
This
puts, Amber puts a finger to her chin.
So I assume you also tried a slushy.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah,
the
Amber was trying the slushy as Aspen was talking.
Okay. About the slushy, at first it tastes like really cold blood. But after a while, when the ice starts to melt a little bit and mixes with the blood, the problem comes through because water is not blood, so it tastes like ash. So the longer you take, the more ashy becomes the taste.
I get to a point where it's almost completely thawed and I set it aside. Well, for an experiment, it wasn't bad.
This one's definitely one where we have to eat it quickly.
For sure.
That's the ice, right?
Indeed.
Yeah.
I assume so. But it's at least a proof of concept. I think I have an idea what I could do next with this. Okay. You were fine with the end of it? Any other feedback?
Honestly, keep doing what you're doing. This is amazing. It's been so long since I've had a proper meal and not a bite.
I agree.
he nods. Good. Then, especially since you did help me out a little bit with the experiment there, he looks with if looks could kill view towards slushies. So I would say about the bill.
Yes.
Okay, either you could find someone who, well, some blood that's out of the norm a little bit, so to say, or just a small favor I would count in. If you bring me a rare type of blood, I will see your bill paid. If not, I will come to you at one point about a favor.
I sigh. Ah, there's always a catch. Well,
He smirks a little bit. Well, money doesn't help us that much, huh?
true, very true. Honestly, I coming here, I was expecting you were gonna kill us. So this is doable.
Would
Do
be
you
bad
happen
for
to have a phone
business.
number? Fair enough. But you see, in all honesty, we're being the full disclosure type right now. We didn't know Mr. Espina that well, so for all I knew, he was sending us to our deaths.
Oh, Mr. Spina is, or, well, he was, I assume, before he became a Ventrue. Well, how much do you know about him?
Not as much as I'd like.
Well, he would what you could call a bon vivant.
A what?
Bon vivant? Writing the word down, I have no idea how to pronounce it.
Well, the mic cut out a little bit.
Ah,
E.
bon vivant. I don't know how to. Basically, he enjoys the good things in life and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yep.
Ah.
I forgot also how to write it down. So, yeah, he's one of my regular customers. So you could even say the only one I have, mostly. But he doesn't
Regular
really.
connoisseur.
Apparently, he. Well, if you would run into him when he was still a human and would. As I assume so, at least, and would throw out the name of a city, he would always know about a small family bakery or a really atmospherical restaurant that's not really known and things like that.
Well, that's certainly good to know. Well,
He also is a
Yeah.
good payer, so to say. Most of what you did eat today was coming from him.
really? What? Interesting. Well, I don't know if we'll be coming across very much unique blood that you would be interested in, but if we do, we'll definitely give you a shout. Otherwise, we'll look forward to that favor, unless you want to give us the favor now. Kind of look at him.
Right now, I can't really think of anything. Like I said, if I have something in mind, I will contact you.
Well, that's fair. After a meal like this, it seems simple enough.
So then, to just make it
right way.
officially, here's my number. He holds a different style of card. And to introduce myself correctly, Steve Aragas, Ankila of Clan Toreador.
Hey, did they say Ankila?
Yes.
That's up there. compared to us.
And it's basically the order is Neonate, Ankila, Elder, Methuselah.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. So he's up there.
Ye-
Oh, so you've been around for a while.
I smile and give my usual little bow. Well, that would make me Aspen Reed, Neonate of Clan Ventrue, if we're being formal.
And I would be Amber Anderson, neonate of Clan Gangrel.
Noted. Well, then I will go back in the kitchen and clean up. You can leave when you're finished.
Thank
Much
you again.
appreciated.
Yeah, and he leaves you alone.
That went better than expected.
Much better than expected.
Of course, it does mean I'm gonna have to start carrying around a syringe. Or five.
He, from how he said it, he was more speaking about the whole human.
The whole guy. Okay.
Yep. Or blood bags if you find them in blood bags already.
Yeah.
Yep. But, well, he's a cook, so he needs much, so probably the whole human would be better.
Yeah.
Yep. That's just the intelligence of your character talking to you, so to say.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, well, I'll have to see if he minds a dead donor or a live donor.
I need the whole human. Oh, do we want to stop now for a potty break?
Sure.
Yeah, might as well.
You need to go to the toilet?
Yes.
No problem.
So I shall return.
Yep. Then I will also grab something new to drink.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have
I'm
burned through
muting
my
my
coffee.
yeah. I'm muting myself again, and you two can mute yourself. I let you unmute it here in Streamlabs.
Okay.
Yep.
Peekaboo, I am back.
Peekaboo.
I
I am taking the chance to load up the dryer.
well, I'm not sure how long Agar is going to be. Otherwise, I'd have to make a new picture of fluids.
Okay, let's put all that in there. I want one of these sheets.
I realize I spoke of the wrong abilities, but the right abilities at the same time.
How so?
Most of the things are abilities that I can do, but can't do as of yet.
Ah, okay.
Whereas the ones that I have basically allow it so I can do other Gangrel things.
Ah,
In other words, the one thing basically allows it so I can actually, be able to change into the two different types of beasts. Whereas the
Yeah,
one that I currently have now basically makes it so I can do my claw thing.
Yeah.
I can look like a beast if I want to. And that's one other thing, which I don't think Amber actually said in the restaurant. But if she needs to, let's say the sun is coming up, she can simply go into the ground.
Oh. And dive, dive, dive.
Oh no, she doesn't dive into the ground. She just merges with it.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Can't you do that now or later?
Yeah, I can do that now.
Oh, okay. Really freak someone out and just hide in the dirt, wait for someone to come by and grab their ankles.
I'm back. And about
Hi.
melting with the dirt, not that you confused or something. It's how you describe it. You melt with the dirt, but you really melt with it. You are basically, when you use that form, about the size of a brick, and would be just be seen as a very hard block of dirt.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It's a way to survive the sunlight or the day over.
Yep.
I mean, Gangrel are known for traveling around, and especially in medieval times and so on. Well, many vampires just digged themselves a little grave and did sleep in there. But Gangrel just melted with the ground. Yep. I did once see a joke about a Gangrel who did that in a kid's playground or multiple Gangrel, and then there was a blood hunt for a small child who always played in the sandbox and exposed the Gangrel to the sun, and they died.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, that would suck.
Yep. So, the most important thing about melting with the dirt is position, position, position.
Position.
But yeah,
Oh, I'll have to learn where to melt then.
yep. But yeah, let's continue, I would say.
Yep. So I believe we
It's
were
up
leaving.
I was gonna say it's up to you if Amber told Aspen about the earth melting thing or not.
We can
While in the
pretend.
restaurant.
Yeah, we can pretend that she did.
Okay. All right. So we are leaving the restaurant.
You're back down at the street. Did the music just become louder or something?
No.
No,
What the fuck? City backdrop?
it's still raining.
Yeah, rain. The
Yeah, it's
city
raining for me.
backdrop. Ah, it was the city backdrop. There was something a little bit louder, and I see it in the waveforms down here. And okay.
Ah.
I knew something was.
Yeah, Wait. This is right now only city.
E.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a
It's hard
little
for me
bit.
to hear because I'm out on my patio too.
Yep. But it also sounds a little bit like, like a little bit of a thingy, how's it called? Musical cue in the background. And I was, wait a moment.
Yeah, that was still there.
Yep. That was the city backdrop. Apparently it has some music in the end, which is good to know. I mean, it's a 10-minute track, so, yeah, happens.
Yeah, there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you are back on the street. It's still raining, but not that much anymore. Oh, and before I forgot it, you both from this whole feeding and fest got Okay, poor Ken. 2 more blood points.
He.
Wait a moment, I made an oopsie with the PDF files. I want them
Is
in.
it 2 more?
Yes, the problem for you is look at your blood pool.
For me, specifically?
Yes.
Yeah, you went over.
Ah.
Yep. How
Because
was
you were already full.
how was that again with blood pools over? That was it that way or this way? Oh yeah, now I oh dear God. Make a
What
self-con
happened?
make a self-control check.
Me? Oh shit.
Yep. I just remembered what happened in this. I also forgot that you were completely full. I'm sorry. That's on me.
Well, I did ask. Like,
I mean,
Ask him.
I mean, you did eat enough that you gained 2 blood points. So that was something I had in mind. I just hadn't in mind that Ken is full.
Oh god, this is gonna be interesting.
Yep.
Self-control, that is...
Yeah. All of the sudden, Amber,
Oh god.
you feel this overwhelming, really, really overwhelming. All of the sudden, how to best describe it? It feels like you are more awake all of the sudden. It feels like you are extremely confident all of the sudden. You can do everything. And you don't feel any hunger for the first time since you were embraced.
Oh.
oh,
Yep, you succeeded at the check.
Okay.
well then.
If you wouldn't have succeeded, it would be a frenzy.
Oh,
Yes. That's the danger with overfeeding. On the one hand, if you control yourself, it feels amazing. On the other hand, if you don't control yourself, you frenzy and make things problematic for yourself.
And I guess I strut out of the room then. Or strut.
Yep.
I take notice and kind of raise an eyebrow at Amber. Well.
But yeah, you walk down the stairs in front of the building, and it's still raining, but not as much anymore.
What happened to you?
Feel amazing. Like, I don't feel hungry. I feel strong. I feel like I can do anything.
And you feel full for the first time.
Now, see, here I was worried that after all those people you attacked in the park, you're gonna, I don't know, overeat, throw up. I don't know what happens.
Neither do I, but if this is the result,
Well, I can't argue with the results. All right. Do you want to just walk it off for a little bit, or?
I mean,
Because I don't
It's
really
not
have
like-
any plans.
surely we can think of something.
Shrug. We don't really have any appointments right now.
Why don't we just explore the town then?
All right. After you.
All right then.
My god, I ended up developing a voice for her for this confidence too.
Oh,
You
and
can
yeah,
tell when she's confident and when she isn't.
yeah, and I'm just sitting back all bemused, like, what the heck is going on with this? Well,
Yep.
let's see what happens.
Amber was thinking, my god, that was a damn good meal.
Wow,
Pretty
I
much,
feel
yeah.
amazing.
Yep.
Well, I guess
Amazing.
we'll just go for a walk, see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yep. Yeah, you walk through the nightly LA. Give me a moment. Where that's the wrong file. That's the correct file. Yup. Oh, God damn it! Why am I always this? Why does this dice like? You know what? I'm gonna ignore this and do it with this. Okay, that would be a free. Oh.
Uh-oh. We're about to put that confidence to the test.
Oh
guess
yes, you
so.
are. I mean, it was at first. It's what always happens: beggar or drug dealer. And I mean,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and I mean, after a while, that gets boring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got
that's
that
why
already.
I checked it again because random encounters are nice. It's not so nice if the dice is as the same every single time.
Gonna say
Yeah.
if you wanted to make a check, just have one of us roll, and then you determine what it is.
I have a system for what result means what.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, again, you could just tell us to roll a certain number, and then like we won't know what the encounter is for, let alone if it's an encounter.
You mean something like, oh, be so nice and roll a 3 now.
Pretty much, yeah.
Hey, yo, Agar, be real cool of you if you would roll this for me.
It'd be awesome if you could just roll a d6 for me.
No, I 3 on a d6. I meant it sounded like
Oh
that.
no, I was gonna say like, hey, could you roll a d6 for me? Rolls a 6.
Yep.
What have you done?
But
See
no.
what I mean now?
Yep. But no, you are walking down the streets, feeling amazing about this amazing meal, full of confidence. And all of a sudden, you hear a voice behind you. Oh wait, no. Oh, that's a good idea. Sorry. But yeah, you hear.
Mulligan.
What?
Ergen Flugen.
Mulligan. Do over.
Again.
Yep. But no, you hear a voice behind of you. Hey,
I immediately turn around.
I kind of stop and look over my shoulder.
Yeah, you see two dudes standing there, both in leather jackets. One with a shirt under it, the other one with a t-shirt. Both a rather short hair, middle 20-something. Look rather fit. I have a question for you. The one with the t-shirt says.
I
All
raise an
right. What's this
eyebrow.
question?
Yes.
I know that sounds weird and so on, and I'm completely sorry for doing that, but could you please, for a short moment, hold this here? He hands, he has, what was that again? A piece of paper in his hand.
I
I hope you know
raise
I'm
it.
going to read this, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's something like
I-
that.
All right,
I
I
just
read it.
kind of look at it and look up at the guy. Not
Um,
gonna make us catch fire, is it?
we will see. And Amber, in the moment you touch the paper, it feels like you would touch a glowing piece of coal.
Oh, well, then I immediately drop it.
What was that?
Just drop it, and what way it is directly. Exactly.
Well, I guess the moment I feel it burning me, then I just like drop it, like I just let it go. Actually, no.
No?
I'll endure it.
Okay. Murph, make a self-control check if you can endure it. And also, please, since you probably don't want to show any expression, you can already hold it without just dropping it, but it hurts like hell. But I assume you also want your face to not show anything.
Correct.
Then please make a manipulation performance check.
see. Manipulation. There it is. Performance.
Okay, okay, yep. Okay, then you wanted to read the piece of paper.
Yeah.
It just says, if you can read this, you are human.
Oh. I just kind of raise an eyebrow and say out loud, if you can read this, you're human. What kind of bullshit is this?
They
Is this
both.
supposed to be some kind of prank or something?
The guy quickly grabs the piece of paper out of your hands again. Never mind, situation of mistaken identity. Just ignore us. Have a nice night and be careful. It's a dangerous city here.
Yeah, I kind of size them both up. No shit. And I turn around in a huff and continue walking along.
Yep. They are also turning around. Amber, since you did not yet turn around, please make a perception alertness check.
Perception, alertness.
Huh. They have something in the back of their jeans that looks a little bit like a miniature crossbow.
Oh.
I'm glad I decided to tough that out. Oh my god.
Yeah, that would have ended badly.
Yeah. And you probably will hate me for this. You see them walk to a parking Impala.
I'm sorry, what?
A parking Impala, the car.
So they're walking towards a parked Impala.
Yep. You don't see it. You already did turn around in a half and
Right.
so on. But Amber sees that.
Well, then I guess I slowly turn around back while still eyeing them for a moment.
Yeah.
And then I walk off with
Mm.
Aspen, holding my burnt hand.
Holding your what?
Holding my
Burnt
burnt
hand.
hand.
Yep. It did not burn. It's just
Just felt like it did.
Yeah.
Well, then I check it to see if there were any burns on it.
It's a little bit red, but no.
Once we're a short distance away, I look at Amber. Are you all right?
Let's just say I'm glad I did what I did.
I'm not an idiot. People don't just hand other people pieces of paper that say, if you can read this, you're human. Were those who I think they were?
I think so, because whatever that was, it burnt like hell.
I nod. Did you happen to get their license plate?
Did I?
No.
Damn.
But on the side note, Impalas are already in the early 2000s rarely seen. Especially ones that are taken so good care of. That thing looks like new.
No, but they did have a pretty shiny car. Looks like it was an Impala of some kind.
We might have to report that. I kind of hold out my hand towards Amber. Could I have your phone for a second?
I used my other hand that wasn't burned to hand you the phone.
Yep.
I note that. Are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just need to make sure my hand is fine.
I'm gonna reach out and grab Amber's hand and turn it over to look at it.
Yeah, like I said, a little bit red, but fine.
I once more check Amber's expression, realize it's okay, and I let her go.
Mm-hmm.
No one hurts Amber around me. It gets wounded.
That's your job to do.
It's my job to bully this one.
All I gotta say is if Amber didn't have that confidence boost, she probably would have reacted.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was only because of the confidence boost that I decided, you know what, I'm a toughen.
Yeah. So anyway, I take Amber's cell phone and I call Mr. Carter.
Mhm. It takes a while, and then Carter Immobilian. So, what can I help? How can I help you? It's his
so
voice.
this was
It's his voice.
okay. Mr. Carter, it's Aspen Reed. Myself and associate just had a close encounter with hunters.
Hunters. His tone will
Yes.
change completely to the normal Carter, you know.
Hmm.
Are you 100% certain?
They handed my friend a piece of paper that said, if you can read this, you're human, and it looks like it might have tried to burn her. And they had, I look at Amber. Did they have anything else on them? Because I didn't see the crossbows.
Yeah.
They definitely had something that looked like crossbows on them.
I pale a little bit, but yeah, they had crossbows on them.
I see. How did they look? And any way to identify them?
I give a brief description of the two of them,
Well,
and they were driving an Impala.
are you still near them? And are they still watching you?
I look at Amber.
They drove off.
They drove off.
They did drive off, right?
Yeah. Well, no, they are still sitting in the car. It seems like they are arguing about something.
They're still here.
By any chance, we need to figure out what kind of hunters they are. If we are lucky, it's just some individual hunters. If we are unlucky, well, things could go more complicated. If possible, shadow them and find their hiding spot.
I nod. Our car's not far. Amber, if you'll wait here, I'll go get it.
I don't think that will be completely necessary. I've got a little bit of energy to burn. Why not?
Are you gonna do what I think you're gonna do? I kind of
Yes.
take the phone away from myself.
Yes.
All right. We need to find a nice dark corner then.
There are more than enough,
And-
at least in the world of darkness.
True. And I hold the phone back up to my head. All right, we will shadow them. I look around for a street sign.
Yeah, like I said, 8th Street or 3rd Street? The street,
think it's
the
5th
street,
Street.
the street number
Yeah,
where, yeah, you know.
Yeah, we're currently on 5th Street. And I'll let you know if they come to a stop somewhere.
Understood. Call me as soon as you find something out.
I nod. Oh, well, they can't even see that. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
It's best you hold on to my phone for now. I wouldn't be able to use it in the
he
condition
ends
I'll
the
be
call
in.
also.
I put it in my back pocket. All right. Well, let's find a nice little spot. You do whatever it is, and I kind of gesture at her. You do, and I'll go get the car.
All right.
So I assume you go in the alley and take Alpha.
Yes.
Yep. Quick transfer change or just change?
Quick change.
Okay, then it costs 4 blood points in total.
4?
Yes, one for the change and 3 to make it instant, so to say.
Well, I needed to burn blood anyway, so.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, and with that also, I think it's a good idea to change the music a little bit more fitting.
Yeah. The hunters have become the hunted.
So, while Amber is in a dark place and loses around loses a few pounds. What are you doing, Aspen?
I go to my car and get in, but I keep it turned off, and
Well,
I just wait. I make it look like I'm just on the phone, so in case if they do notice me, they won't get suspicious.
yep. And Amber, what are you doing after the transformation?
I'll go up into the sky and I'll go up into the sky and I'll
It
perch
sounds weird,
myself on a
right?
nearby building.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll perch myself up on a building near the Impala.
After a while, you see the car turning into the right lane and driving rather slowly more to the outskirts of the city.
I wait until they're around the corner, then I start the car and head after them. I'm trusting that Amber's following, so I'm kind of peeking up, looking to see if I can see an owl flying overhead.
So basically, you wanna follow the owl and not follow them, and so they don't see you at all.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, then you please give me a perception alertness.
Oh, great. Okay. I need to check my sheet because I haven't done this in a while.
No problem.
Okay, so that's
There's that one. Yeah, you can find the owl.
good.
Yep. And now I also have this from sheep, from gaming perspectives. Basically, it goes into the bird's perspective, and you see the car driving and so on. God damn it. I think from GTA was that or something.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, they are driving east. That was the word. So to say, outside of the city, more in the outskirts of LA.
Okay.
Yep. Wait, I just had an idea since we are driving. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There. But a little bit quieter. To set the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, they are driving outside of the city. They are on their way for a short amount of time. Amber, how
Yeah.
far away do you try to stay of them? You can catch up with them in terms of speed with no problem, since they take the time they need. They don't rush or anything.
All right then. While we're still in the city, I want to stay at least a building or two away.
Mm-hmm.
And when we get more closer to the outskirts,
I'm
depending
assuming
on
that
if I
they're
can.
I'm assuming that they're driving with their headlights on since it's the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Right. And I was gonna say, depending on if I can be seen in the darkness or not, I'll stay like maybe 3 to 5 cars behind.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Owls have good eyes.
I know.
But
I know.
keep in mind, I'm also following you, so
Right.
I'm just
you
thinking
don't
right
want me
now.
to get too close to them either.
That's why I'm saying like at least 3 to 5 cars away.
Yeah. After they left LA, goddammit. They drive. It's only a short time. At the end, they come to a landfill. Yeah, landfill. That was the word. You know where garbage is in a hole and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. They hold. There's this office building of the landfill, so to say, and there's also a small two store and one on basement and one level above a house, a living house, so to say. They park in front of the living house.
All right then.
And
I
they
guess I'll-
exit their cars.
what I will do is when we get up to the landfill, I will perch myself on a let's say, lamp post if they have one.
Yeah,
So
yeah, this
Aspen
one.
can see me, but also stay far enough behind to not be detected.
Mm.
And when I see Amber land, I turn off my headlights and pull over.
Yep.
This feels like some recon stuff.
And that all happens thanks to a random encounter and my imagination going crazy. You see why I like random encounters and use them?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not D&D, where the random encounters are basically, okay, what kind of monster are you run into and need to fight?
So yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn off the car and do it from the car. Do I have a line of sight on the house?
Yes. You
Okay.
see them arguing. Emma, do you want to listen in or try to listen in? I mean, I assume
fly
here.
quiet.
I assume they also hear very good.
Yes.
Yep, exactly. So, do you want to listen in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, they still talk about you. To give you the gists of it, they were curious about the two of you. For once, because of your skin color. You know, vampires are very pale, more death pale, so to say, and also they were pretty sure your ears were not just a head strap.
Oh.
And they are basically arguing, do they made a mistake? Is the piece of paper not working anymore? No, it works. Worked last week in San Francisco, stuff like that. So they basically didn't know you before, encountered you on random chance. We're pretty sure that you are vampires, had a plan that works, at least it worked last week already, and it did not work now, and they are now a little bit confused. And then someone enters the door, it's a woman, and she has a big revolver on her side and lets them two in, and you can't hear them anymore because they are inside.
Oh boy.
I look over to Aspen and raise one wing so that to hopefully indicate something, and then fly closer to the building so I can hear.
I'm staying put because I thought we were dealing with two, and I just saw a third one come out. So who knows how many more are out there? And I'm waiting for Amber to come back before I call Mr. Carter.
Yeah. From what you can hear, the woman seems to be a, well, friend or something of them, and, well, at first it sounds like they did not meet for a while. They were the whole greeting stuff and so on, and how was the drive? Did you run into something fancy, or the other way just a ghost, nothing special? And then the two of them tell her about what happened with you. Apparently, they were just for a little break in the city to grab something to eat and something to drink to bring with them for her when they run into you.
Oh.
Oh god. Hold on. I guess what I will do is I will fly back over to the car on the opposite side of the building.
Yeah.
I will check to see if there are any cameras or any nearby people.
Can't see neither of them.
So it's just the three of them so far.
And I guess I will transform back.
Where exactly?
By me, I believe.
Okay, good.
Yeah, yeah, by her, but like on the side furthest away from the building.
Yep, sure, no problem.
Yeah, I'm still a little ways away.
Yeah. Car. But she transforms back by the car. That was basically what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, then continue.
And As she lands, I reach into my purse and pull out my gun.
Could be another Gangrel.
Eh,
You never know.
I'm being careful.
Hmm.
We literally had a brush with death just now, so
Once I transform back, I then relay the information to Aspen.
Please
so
do that in
3 of them
character.
in total.
Wait.
Yeah. Do that in character.
There, I actually was about to, but okay.
There's 3 of them. One with a revolver.
We just
Oh.
happened to have run across them.
So they were just randomly screening people, hoping to find a vampire.
More or less, yeah.
So we're not exactly dealing with professionals. Still, a hunter is a hunter. I pull out the phone and I call Mr. Carter.
All I will say is we're definitely on their radar now.
I nod. Gar?
Yeah.
I-
You pulled out your phone, but you did. Oh, did you? No, you did not
Yeah,
say you
I-
called them, or did you?
Okay. I call Mr. Carter.
Yeah, because for me, it sounded you were still talking to each other. That's why I didn't say anything.
I thought I said it, but I guess I didn't get picked up.
Probably, but yeah. Takes only a second or so until he gets on the phone. Yes.
It's me again. We tracked them to a hideout in a landfill just outside of LA. So far, we see 3 of them. They don't seem to be professionals.
What brings you to this conclusion?
Well, from what I kind of look at Amber. Scout told me they were just randomly screening people while doing other things.
I see. But on the other hand, should I ask a question? Did you tell him about the piece of paper?
I did.
Yeah.
Be-
On the
when
other
we
hand,
first-
they seem to have experience with our kind.
True.
At least one of them seems to have a true faith, or or knows someone who has true faith, who basically, I assume, blessed this piece of paper. That's why it probably burned.
I'm going to assume it's the lady with the revolver. But
Can't
I have
say
no
that-
proof of this.
I can say that the piece of paper apparently was used before, and they were able to tell right away. I think I threw them off by holding on to it.
Yeah, they seem very confused and argumentative, that they have no idea what happened. I think, and I look at Amber, they're pretty confident that they ID'd my friend here, but the paper didn't work, so they have no idea what went wrong.
That can be used for our benefit. They are probably on edge right now, but they are also confused. That's a weakness. You think you two can take care of them, or do you need support?
If we take them by surprise, we might be able to, but I would appreciate some backup on the way.
Understood. I will send someone. Which is your specific location?
It was the landfill just outside of LA on the outskirts.
I think I know which one you're talking about. I will relay that information, and you should have backup in half an hour. I leave it in your hands if you attack right away or wait for backup. If you attack away the backup, it will be introduced to attack the right away. If you're waiting, they will talk to you.
I nod again to myself. All right, thanks. Yeah, we'll see what our options are.
And be careful when you engage them to leave no signs of us. The Masquerade even is active when we are dealing with her hunters, for obvious reasons.
Understood.
Yep, he ends the call.
For the moment, I put the cell phone in my purse.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
What's the situation?
we have backup coming in about half an hour. Or, if you think we're up for it, we can try and take them ourselves.
I raise up a hand in the shape of claws.
Are we allowed to go? Guns
We-
blazing?
The Masquerade is still to be considered, but we're far enough from LA. I don't think people will be. They might be shocked, but I don't know if they'll jump to supernatural if there's a bear mauling out here. Do you?
I look around to see if there's any like nearby forests and
Um,
give a quick nod.
Yep, you're pretty outside of the city. It's already in the middle of nowhere, so to say.
I mean, it is. It is a landfill. Bears scavenge.
Yep.
Bears do scavenge.
I nod. All right. Well, I don't know how well we're going to be able to get them separated. Wait. I have an idea. So, here's what I'm going to try and do. If we can get close to the house, I can see if I can cut their power.
Okay.
If we're lucky, one of them will come out and try and figure out what the problem is. That point, you take them.
Got it.
If anyone else comes out after that, I'll try and deal with them. But if all three come out at once, we don't engage. I fancy our chances against one hunter, but all three, no. If all three come out, we wait for backup.
Understood.
All right, let's
Hold
go.
I slowly start to take the shape of a bear.
Yep.
This
that-
time taking my time.
Yep. Takes 1 point.
I'm gonna start very quietly and very carefully making my way towards the back of the house, looking for a junction box.
Okay, then give me a dexterity stealth check, please.
Oh, goody. Let's see.
Considering that they're inside as well, I would have taken the opportunity to slowly get behind a pile of trash that's nearby said junction box.
Mm-hmm. No problem.
Hmm.
Well, let me look at something. Yep, you sneak there. There is a short moment where you see from the inside, well, there's light coming out, and exactly in this moment where you wanted to go under a window, you see a shadow on the window looking out. You could stop in the last moment and wait for the shadow to go and then go your way. You seem to have not been spotted. And you
Okay.
found indeed a box.
Okay. Then I'm gonna open it and I'm gonna look for the one for the main breaker,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna pop it.
Sure. Lights go out.
All right, showtime. And I back up to
The music started right then and there too.
and I back up to a better shooting position.
Yep. And also in the moment the lights go out. Oh, that's too loud.
Oh, here we go.
Well, this will result in a fight, so I assume I can
Oh, yeah.
cue the fight music.
God.
Yeah, in the moment the lights go out, you hear surprised sounds. Let me quickly do something. 4, 5, 6, 7. And yeah, you hear a short, but like something would fall over. You don't hear any voices. And for Amber, I assume you have the entrance of the building and inside, from where you
You
are
said what?
hiding. I assume you positioned yourself that you have the entrance of the building inside, right?
Insight, yes.
Yep. You see the door opening and the two guys again coming out. One with it looks like an pistol that belongs in a museum. The other with more modern short pistol, so to say. They are
Aspen is nearby. I tap the ground twice.
Yeah, I am.
What are you doing after you pulled out the light?
Is there any cover nearby, like a tree or something?
There's a dumpster.
I'm gonna try and quietly move towards the dumpster.
Quietly but fast, I assume.
Yes.
Yep. In this case, another dexterity and stealth check, please.
I'm just low rolling today.
Oh, that was a check already. Yeah. As you run there, you hear the stomping, double stomp. For you, Amber, they seem to have feared you too. They look into your direction carefully and do the horror movie thing and split up. The guy with the old revolver walks slowly with the revolver hold up and so on towards you, while the other walks to the back of the building, so to say. You can also see they know what they are doing. They don't make a sound.
Oh no!
Oh, these are good. These are big guys.
Uh,
I would say wait for him to get close,
E.
because we do have the darkness on our side.
I mean,
The
it is
problem
hard
is
to
you-
see a black bear in the middle of the night.
Yeah. I mean, the only problem with the darkness is that your eyes are still as good as human eyes.
Mine are, but
But I'm a bear.
Ken's are better,
Cans are as good as a bear's eyes.
and bears can see reasonably well in the dark.
Yep. So, the guy who goes to the back is a little bit faster. You can see him on the arriving at the corner, Aspen. I assume you hide
Okay.
in a way that you can look in this direction.
Yes.
Would be, I mean, it would be, yeah, it would be wise to do so. At the same time, Amber, he is slowly walking around the piece, the small hill of garbage you are hiding behind. Probably the next 10 seconds he will see you. What are you doing?
I will wait until he gets just close enough for me to maul him.
So, biting or hitting with claws?
Hitting with claws.
Then please give me a dexterity plus brawl plus 1 check.
Let's see. Dexterity. Oh. Plus brawl.
Brawl,
Yep.
yep.
Plus 1.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, you definitely hit him. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. give me a strength plus 5.
Strength plus 5.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4. That brings him into this. Okay. Yeah, he also screams, obviously, because a fucking bear attacked him. He shoots his gun, but yeah, he. Oh wait, no. Let's make that correctly. Let's make that correctly.
Let's do the actual check.
Yeah, I'm not just doing what is would be fitting, but doing it by the rules. That's that. That's that. That's before that. Still okay. Oh, he hit you on your shoulder, and he makes 1 bashing damage. Do you want to soak?
Yeah, I'll soak it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty well topped off on blood. You should be okay.
Again?
Ken's
No.
pretty
Again, I mean, Ken's answer.
well topped off.
Ken's answer, I meant.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll soak it.
Yep, then stamina plus 1.
Stamina plus 1.
Yeah, you take no damage. The bullet basically hit you and didn't penetrate you and stuck somewhere in your form. And
Thick ass bear hide just got stuck in it.
exactly. Yeah, the other guy runs. Well, Amber, Aspen, you see him. Well, you hear the scream, you hear the gunshot. You see him turning around and running into the direction and shouting, apparently the name of the guy, Sam.
Well, in that case, I want to try and shoot him in the back.
Okay. Then for you, please, dexterity firearms.
Oh,
Dirty.
I want to try and roar the moment she shoots her gun, so that 1 to mask it, and 2 make it sound more believable that a
You don't
bear
you don't know that she shoots him. She's on the other side of the building.
Yeah.
Fair. Well, fair. I was roaring either way, so.
Roar, bear things.
Fucking bear just launched out of the darkness at this dude.
Yep. Okay. That's -1. That means that's 3 plus. Okay. Make. Oh no, that's a gun. Gun works. No, that was. Never mind. I got stupid. Make 7 damage checks, please. As 7 d10s. That's 1 and 2 and 3.
Nice.
Yep. So 3 means that. Okay. Now the all encountering important and thing. Roll for initiative.
Roll for initiative. Okay.
It's just the 1d10, right?
Yes, 1d10 plus your
Oh.
stamina and. Oh, nice. Plus
What
stamina
plus
and wit.
stamina?
No, it's the amount of dice you have in stamina and wits as a number. You don't make a check on them. You only need a 1d10.
Okay, so you just do the 1. All right.
Yep.
Plus stamina and wits. Let's see, that's 10.
Stamina. And we just
That
add it
is-
to our roll.
No, and then you have, for example, Aspen, I have you open. You have 2 in stamina, and not stamina. My bad. Dexterity. God damn it.
Okay, so
I've been too long.
Oh,
and
dexterity?
you have 3 in dexterity and 3 in wits, which means it's 6. Plus the 4 you made is initiative of 10 in total.
10. Okay.
Yep. Let me also write it down so I don't confuse.
I heard stamina, so I used my.
Yeah. Okay. So yep. And also Ember, you get 1 additional point on it.
Oh, okay.
You physical attributes are +1 in bear form.
Okay.
17, and they have this and
Yeah.
this plus
Right. Angry bear noises.
8, 9. Okay. Amber starts. Amber, what are you doing?
Let's see.
You just attacked him with a claw. He shot on a surprise, did hit you, but did not hurt you.
Did he take any damage?
Fucking bear hit him.
Yes. Yeah.
I just don't remember if I saw damage. Oh no, Amber did do a damage roll. Okay.
Who's the closest target right now?
What?
Probably the one you swung at.
Yeah, the other is on the other side of the house again and did get hit by a bullet in his back.
All right, I'm a chase after the one that I hit, and fucking bash his face in.
How exactly?
I want to aim for like.
So you're with one
premium-
claw against his head, basically.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
And if we're close to any types of structures, I
Not
want to
really.
make
No.
it so that.
I mean, Amber, if I may point out, you are faster than him. You weigh more than him. You could just straight up tackle him to the ground.
Too late. He already said what he do.
Yeah.
Dexterity and brawl again +1.
I have a plan for that one, but yeah, I want to bash his face in. Dexterity, brawl +1.
Yep.
Steve. I see high numbers.
High numbers are a funny thing. I just right now a little bit. No, we are still alive. Because I was for a moment there,
Yeah, I've been checking.
Yeah, good.
Yep.
It's 1, 2, 3. Okay, then strength +4.
Strength +4.
Yes. Oh dear God.
Oof.
Let me put it this way: half of his head is missing. Okay.
Amber just straight up murked a dude.
Aspen, what are you doing?
Well, I shot the guy in the back.
Yes, and he's obviously turning around. You have his attention now, so to say.
I would hope so.
Yep.
He's still wearing the same outfit as before, right?
Yes.
So no like combat gear or anything. Okay.
No.
So then I'm going to aim for his chest and shoot again.
Okay. Do you know the roll? Dexterity and
Uh,
firearms.
Yep. So that will be
Okay. That's at least you hit him. 5 dice, please.
5 dice. All right.
Oh dear.
Oh.
God. 1, 2, 3, 4. Was it a soaking? Soaking were only that. Exactly. Good point. Yeah, he also falls down. He's well. You shot him. He falls to his feet on the ground, is coughing up blood, and yeah, he probably will not live for 2 minutes or longer.
Okay.
Humans can only soak bashing damage. Guns make for humans deadly damage, and you shot him one time with 3 damage points and the other with 4. And now look on your sheet how many levels of damage a person can take.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
He dead.
do I get to go again? Oh, he's just dead.
He dead.
He's just
He
lying on
was-
the floor. He just
he,
completely
he's in the midst of dying, so to say. You could say some last words to him or something.
Some cheesy one line.
Exactly, yep.
No, he's still moving, and he is a hunter. I'm not going to give him the chance to retaliate. I'm going to stay put behind the dumpster.
Yeah, it takes only 1 or 2 hours, then he stops moving. In the meantime, Amber, what are you doing?
I will go ahead and start bashing on the door. I will push the door down.
Okay, you
Well-
walk through the door, and you want to basically tackle the door in.
Yes.
Okay, then give me a strength +1 check.
Make it look like a fucking bear attack.
Yeah, you bash in the door, but also all of the sudden you have a strong pain in your right side, so to say, because there was a crossbow or something, and on the left side, I mean, on the left chest. There was some wire also linked to a crossbow pointed towards the door. When you would be a human, it would probably have staked you. This way, give me a moment, that would be, let's say, 3. Oh dear God.
At least I see a 1 that cancels out one of them.
Not for damage, but you can soak them. Do you want to soak the damage?
Yeah, let's soak it.
Yep, stamina +1.
Stamina +1. That is
4.
No.
You get 2 points of metal damage. In the meantime, Aspen, he dead now for sure, and you hear the cracking of wood breaking, and then you hear the sound of a crossbow firing, so to say.
I'm going to want to run towards the sound of that.
Yep. Yeah. You run there. In the meantime, Amber, what are you doing?
the woman is still in there, yeah?
You did not see
You
her
don't
come
know
out,
where.
at least.
Let's make a mess.
You already got shot once and almost died.
Almost died is when you say that? Okay. So what
Well,
exactly
okay.
do you mean with
Okay,
making
never
a
mind.
mess?
He's still in good shape. Probably trashing the place.
Yeah, I wanna trash the place.
Yep. So you basically just wander around and bash random furniture that was standing in your way or just near your claws.
Kinda, yeah. Like
Yep.
stand on my hind legs, swipe the stuff a little, maybe run my body into the sides of the place a bit.
Yep.
Break tables, snap chairs.
While you're on stuff, just doing that, you walk it's a floor, so to say. 2 doors on each side, 1 door in front. How exactly do you go your way?
Wait, what?
Wait a moment.
That's scary.
Here's the door.
Okay.
Here's the floor. And you see 1 door here, 1 door here, 1 door here, 1 door here, and 1 door here.
Oh,
I told you the tablet is a good idea. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
I guess I'll ram into a couple doors, maybe knock off a few of their doorknobs, make it hard for them to escape.
Again, what do you want to do?
I'll swipe at the doors, specifically at the doorknobs. and ram my body into like the furniture and stuff like that.
Yep. As you're a little bit more inside, you hear a female voice behind you. You know, I wanted to try this here since forever. And I don't think you're a normal bear and probably understand me.
From behind?
Yes. Ken was going inside the room to trash the doorknobs and so on.
She said what?
Um,
She said
you know,
she wanted to try.
I always wanted to try this here, and I'm sure you're not a normal bear, so you will understand what I said.
Did you get that?
Oh, yeah. I can either keep up the charade or I can attack her now.
I would say drop the charade.
I would say maybe you should take a look at her first before you decide anything.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah. But like, I feel like the way how I do it is going to like. tick them off.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I can either expose myself and look straight at her, or continue trashing the place and seem like a bear.
Or fall back.
Fall back deep into the house.
Well, possibly. Whichever way the lady isn't.
She's behind me, and if I came in the building, she's blocking the doorway.
Yep.
I'm a continue the charade.
Okay, how exactly?
Make it look like make it look like I'm searching for something.
When you look at her, she has some kind of canister on her back, and what she holds in her hands looks damn familiar to a fucking flamethrower.
Ooh. Where the hell am I?
Speaking of you, I just wanted to come to you, because Amber, you also see something else. An Esper coming in through the. You can see Aspen coming inside through the broken down door. And Aspen, you see the bear deep in the floor, a woman in front of you with a gas tank or something on her back.
I am going to want to shoot at that fucking gas tank. Since it's pretty much center mass. It should be another 5 roll, shouldn't it?
You can do that, yes. But do you really want to shoot a gas tanker for the flamethrower?
That's that. Yeah, especially if she's that close to Amber. I'm okay. You know what? I'm gonna try and shoot her in the back of the leg.
Okay.
Since I'm behind her.
You know the check.
Yep.
Yep. Yes, you hit her. 6 dice, please.
6 dice. All right. Nope, wrong way.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, you shoot her in her leg. She screams, falls to the ground because obviously, legs shooting in there, very hurt, much pain, and wow.
Did you just doge on me?
Maybe.
Very pain. Much wow.
Much wow. Very blood.
So, Amber, do you want to do something? Going from the initiative, it would be your turn.
I guess after hearing the gunshot.
And seeing her, falling to the ground, basically, and screaming in pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess at that point I stopped the charade.
Yep, what are you doing? What are you doing, Step Bear? Sorry. Sorry. I had to do it.
I have to be very careful with how I do this, but I will rip the nozzle that is the flamethrower from her hands.
I would
Basically,
say
you
just try and hit her in the face.
I don't want to kill her.
basically you
This one.
want to make sure she can't use the flamethrower with her hand.
Yes.
Okay. Make a dexterity roll. +1. No, not +1 this time.
Dexterity Berali.
Just dexterity brawl.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh dear God. Make a strength +6 check. One, 2. Yep. Yeah, you hear the sound of bones breaking because you know how big bear claws are. Yes. But yeah, you were successful. She for sure can't use the flamethrower anymore, at least not with this hand. Aspen. Oh wait, that was okay. Her turn is basically a mixture of pain, scream, and holding the once a hand with the other hand.
Oof.
While also half kneeling on the floor. Aspen, what are you doing?
I'm gonna come up a little bit closer behind her and point the gun at her head, but I'm not gonna shoot yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say, if you really want to get out of this alive, I would put the thing down and stop. Or we can do it the other way.
What the hell are you?
I was just out walking my bear, and
then
your asshole of a friend attacked.
Bear, fuck me, bear. Are you fucking Garou or something? Ah, fuck.
I raised an eyebrow. A what? I already told you. So.
Okay, fine. I won't do anything.
Good. I look up at Amber, and it's I raise a finger and go, "Stay."
I try not to roll my eyes, but I said.
You wouldn't happen to have booby trapped the rest of this house, would you?
No booby traps.
Good. Because I would really hate you to bleed out right here before I can take care of your wounds.
Good thing you feed it before you did go here.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like this one staying alive would be much more useful. If not to me, to Mr. Carter.
You only have to one slight problem.
What?
You can only open this door and this door because all of the other doors have missing doorknobs and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So, Miss Psycho lady who was going to use a fucking flamethrower on my bear, where do you happen to keep anything that I could use to stop that bleeding?
She nods to the door or points to the door on her left, which is this door here.
I want to do a perception check on that door just in case.
Okay, sure.
What
Perception
would
alertness?
be perception alertness? Okay.
Oh wait, no, and for this probably perception investigation is better.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes more sense.
Perception investigation.
Yep.
Okay, I need to find where's my investigation.
Investigation is in knowledges.
Ah, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, the doorknob is gone, basically, but that also means with this kind of doors that probably the mechanism to close the door is gone, and it should be very easily to be open with throwing yourself against it.
Then I want to kick the door.
It opens. There's a bathroom.
Checking. I want to check for any tripwires.
No, you can't find any.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to go to the medicine cabinet if it's a bathroom and see if there's anything I can use to tie
Yeah.
down her leg.
They're very well prepared. It seems like, yeah, bandages, disinfectant stuff, all you could need, pain killers, all this kind of things.
All right.
But before we continue with the interrogation, we will end for here.
Oh.
Yeah, mostly because I need to go to the bed. I would also love to
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah. Oh. That went so well too.
Yes. And you killed
For
Sam and
once,
Dean.
one of our battles went good.
It went smooth. Not only did we basically annihilate them, but we still haven't broken the Masquerade.
And it's
Yeah.
interesting. Always when I bring in Sam and Dean, they die in a short amount of time. And I hope you did get a reference.
What reference was it?
Supernatural.
I mean, what would you call them?
Sam, Dean.
Oh. Oh. Fuck! We killed Sam and Dean.
Oh no.
Shit!
You're realizing that now?
I didn't realize that was their names. I didn't hear you before.
I said that one of them was shouting the name Sam and running back, and
No, you just said that he was shouting his name.
I said Sam.
Oh, I didn't hear Sam.
Also Impala.
Oh. Oh.
Oh. Now I feel bad.
I feel a little bad, but you know, they did just crossbow you and try to burn you to death with a flamethrower.
Also, like, I didn't want to say anything when the shot, like, at the end when you said you wanted to shoot those tank. I'm like, don't shoot the tank. I'm in here. Like, but yeah, you eventually got there.
I
Yeah.
had. Are you sure you want to do that GM moment?
Yeah, and I realized, wait, it probably will kill her, but it'll also probably kill both of us. So,
Yep, and it's fucking fire, and you're vampires. You're highly flammable.
yeah.
Oh dear.
God.
But we are naturally already moving over in the feedback phase.
Yeah. Whew. Whew. A random encounter. This was all caused by a random ass encounter.
But now I can't help with the interrogation unless it's quote unquote good cop, bad cop, and I'm the bad cop.
Well,
You mean the bad bear?
bad bear. Bad bear. Well,
Agar, if a product comes along called Bad Bear, I blame you.
bad bear. See, not to give too much away for next week, but I'm not planning on doing much of an investigation or
Sure.
an interrogation.
Yep.
I'm not planning on killing her either.
Yep.
We do have backup on the way, I should mention.
Yeah, I know. I
We
remember
got
that.
backup on the way. Oh well, I was gonna say, if anything, it would definitely be some interesting blood for the restaurant.
True.
Yep.
especially since we kept this one alive.
Well, pretty sure we're going to be turning this one over, but there are 2 dead bodies outside, so.
Yeah.
Hunter blood, especially. Oh, by the
We
way,
are
what
trying-
are you saying about restaurant?
I like that idea. That
I
was
do.
fun.
Yep. That was also just hey, a cooking vampire who's obviously a Toreador, because what kind of vampire would cook? But a Toreador who
course.
behaves more like a Bruja. That would be funny.
Yeah. A struggling artist.
Yes,
Starving artist.
yes.
A
Yeah.
starving artist who isn't starving.
Man.
But yeah, I also like how can appreciate how an entire meal from him is about how much it would take for the average vampire to drink from a person.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's not like we can just go, oh shit, I'm hungry. Better go talk to Steve again.
Mm.
Because it's either a favor or unique blood. So
Yep.
it doesn't make things easier. It's convenient, but
And it's an atmosphere thing, so to say.
yes,
Yep.
exactly.
That's one of those
Yeah.
things that I would have said that's an extremely good idea. I need to do that when he would have come up with that when I were thinking about things, but it was just a random thought I had. Hey, why not throw something like that in? And
Yeah,
it evolved in
but-
itself, and it was good. I'm happy.
Instead of making everything out of tofu, we make everything out of blood.
Yep. And then also,
Good idea. I appreciate it.
yeah, and I was then, and I had this moment. Okay, they're now in a restaurant, for vampires, with a vampire who cooks, who does things for vampires. What can you do with blood? What the fuck?
Oh, yeah, that's.
Yep.
I'm sure there's a lot, but
Yeah, but I needed to come up quickly with something.
yeah, true. I mean, it worked.
Yeah, but for sure that it worked better than I would have expected.
And we got into one hell of a fight.
Mm.
I hope you know when
Huh?
we're searching the house afterwards, I'm taking that revolver.
Oh yeah, I don't blame you.
Because you have the hope
Not
it's
like
a
I-
revolver that kills everything, it shoots, even demons.
I don't know. It was a firearm for a fucking hunter.
Yep.
I guess it'll be useful if we're going up against vampires sooner or later. I just
then
have to be careful with it.
Right, and then on top of that, it's not like I'd be able to get much use of it. What with being.
That big old bear. I mean, you were fucking effective as a big old bear.
Yep.
You took off a dude's head.
Well,
Half
not
its
took half, exactly.
I basically
damn.
swatted. I swatted and half his head just vanished.
Yep.
I was gonna make it seem like I just swat his head and then like half his head gets crushed in a building or something like that.
But you didn't even need to do
Poor
that.
Sam. Poor Sam. Why you gotta do him like that?
Yep. But also, on the other hand, did you watch the end of Supernatural or know how it's ended?
No.
Okay, then I won't say.
Unfortunately.
Then I won't
I'm
spoil it.
personally,
I
I'm
don't
personally
think
not
I'm gonna watch
interested,
it.
so I don't care.
Okay, and Ken?
I don't think I'm gonna watch it.
Okay. Apparently at the end, Dean dies to vampires. So that's rather
Oh.
ironic.
Ah,
Yep.
okay. So we just gave you the express version of Supernatural, skipped.
I don't
Like,
know. I haven't
many,
seen
many,
it
many.
either, but yep.
We just skipped several seasons and jumped straight to the end.
Supernatural, abridged.
Yep. Sam and Dean run into some vampires. Vampires are not visible at vampires. Vampires follow them and kill them.
Yeah, you know what? That yeah.
Yep.
I followed my scout bird. Scout bird turned into murder bear. Murder bear did as what murder bears do.
And I mean, it was also just one of those references. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
we didn't-
mean, it would now be really awful when I would now bring, I don't know, an angel in there and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if this was an actual supernatural crossover,
Nah.
we fucked up.
No,
We
it's
fucked up
just
big.
yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
just two hunters who happens to behave and well, basically are them, but in the world of darkness, which means yeah, they are just some normal hunters that are pretty good at their job.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're pretty good at their job.
And yeah, also and thinking about hunters in World of Darkness, they're actually not that good in their job because some hunters in World of Darkness have some special abilities too.
Yeah.
Ken will remember about a pyromatic hunter from the FBI in the last game.
Oh, don't get
Yeah.
me started on that. That was, oh my god.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we killed the other two before they could do anything about it.
Mm.
We dropped them quick.
No, you didn't.
Amber did.
Yeah,
And
that was
Bear
in the other game. You weren't in this game, Aspen.
Oh,
yeah,
that one. Yeah,
Kelly,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What were you referring to?
These two.
Okay, these. Yeah.
Yeah, we took
All
them
I
out
gotta
before they
say
could do
is,
anything
oh, God.
special.
Ken, sorry.
I remembered the one that you were talking about, and oh my god, like... Let's just say if we didn't do what we did, we probably would have died then and there.
Yep. But also, that was an evil situation I did bring you in.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
I mean,
Not
this
only
was
did he bring
almost bad too.
Well, no, like that last one was straight up evil. Not only did we basically get trapped by hunters, those hunters were part of the FBI.
Yep.
Oh, right. You told me about this one.
Yep.
So yeah, like if we win, we're scouted now by the FBI and they're on our tail. If we lose, we got killed by hunters.
Mm.
And even if it's a draw, they know our face.
Yep. But on the other hand, you had a Ventrue with you who could have taken care of that.
True.
Yeah, always some possibilities. But speaking of possibilities, both of you 2 XP.
Yay!
Eee.
Yeah, I have plans for next week for make this look a little bit more authentic too.
What do you mean by authentic?
Bear attack.
Yeah, okay. I
As far as
thought
I
you.
know-
I thought you mean the experience points. That's why.
Oh yeah, no. In terms of this scenario we're in, because as far as I know, bears can't shoot guns.
It's
So-
hard for them. Yeah, they like
So
fingers.
Yeah, I have an idea to clear that up.
Yep. I mean,
And
technical.
no,
they,
it's not.
they, I mean, technical.
not
They
stuck
could
the gun to his
hold.
arm.
I mean, technical. They could hold a gun in the mouth and with one claw pull the
Okay,
trigger.
technical.
Just punch themselves in the back of the throat with a slide. But yeah,
Yep.
That would also require bears to have the intelligence of firearms.
Yes, also that.
Should
but
be
I mean,
plenty
just
suspicious.
from the what they are technically able to do, just from biological, they could do at least one shot with a gun.
Bears with a
possibly,
gun.
yeah.
Yep.
Bears with a gun. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
But yeah, and with that, I would say we end for tonight. Dear viewers,
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed this fairly improvised day, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.